Good morning, students. Today we are going to see lesson 10 part D, that is the features of rural economy are peculiar. Village is an institution. The village is a primary institution and it satisfies almost all the needs of the rural community, that the people in the villages are satisfied with what they have. Dependence on agriculture. The rural economy, that is village economy, depends much on nature and agricultural activities, isn't it? Economy means the money. So how they are getting the occupation, the income, it is the main source is agriculture. Life of rural people, lifestyles in villages are very simple, you know that, isn't it? Village people, they are very simple. Population density. Population density measured by number of persons living per square kilometer is very low and houses are scattered in the entire villages. So they have spaces between each houses. Employment. There exists unemployment and seasonal unemployment and underemployment in rural areas. Due to seasonal employment means when there is no rain, there is no agriculture, and underemployment in rural areas. That is, people don't have proper jobs. Poverty. Poverty is a condition where the basic needs of the people like food, clothing and shelter are not being met. They don't get it because they don't have proper income. So when they are not getting proper income, they don't get proper food, not proper clothing and shelters. They live only in hut. They don't wear costly dresses, clothing. Indebtedness. People in rural areas are highly indebted owing to poverty and underemployment, lack of farm and non-farm employment opportunities. Indebted means what? Highly indebted owing to poverty and underemployment, lack of farm and non-farm employment opportunities. Indebted means they're getting debtors, isn't it? Rural income. The income of the rural people is constrained as the rural economy is not sufficient vibrant to provide them with jobs. If they only agriculture is their source, isn't it? So no proper income. You know the fight going on in Delhi by the farmers. They are struggling hard to get more income in their farming. Dependency. Rural households are largely dependent on social grants and remittances from family members working in urban areas and cities. So what is happening? Rural households are largely dependent on social grants, means from social help, and remittances from family members working in urban areas. That is, they are the people those who are going out from agriculture, working in towns and cities, and they send their money for their household uses, isn't it? Dualism. Dualism means the coexistence of two extremely different features. Two types, isn't it? They are working in the village and they are going to towns also. Two types, that is mostly in agriculture farms. We can take like this also, cottage industries. Inequality. The distribution of income, wealth and assets are highly skewed among rural people. They distribute among themselves. Inequality. The distribution of income, wealth and assets are highly skewed means giving among rural people. Migration. Moving from one place to another place is called migration, isn't it? Rural people are forced to migrate from villages to towns, urban areas in order to seek gainful employment for their livelihood. For example, they go as mason, they are carpenters, and they go out to towns to work and to get more income. Discuss the problems of rural economy. People-related problems. The problems related to individuals and their standard of living consists of illiteracy. Isn't it? The illiteracy means they have not learned. Lack of technical know-how. They don't have more technical products in their houses, like what we have in our houses. That is laptop, computer, all these things. Low level of confidence. They don't have much confidence. Low level of confidence. Dependence on sentiments and beliefs, superstitious beliefs. Isn't it? Next one, agriculture related problems. Lack of expected awareness, knowledge, skill and attitude. All these are lacking. Lack of unexpected awareness. They don't have awareness, knowledge, skill, awareness of disease, for example. Knowledge, skill and attitude. Most of the village students who don't have the knowledge of English knowledge, they don't have. That's a problem we met them when we meet them in colleges. Skill and attitude. They became very traditional, isn't it? They won't be very stylish as the students those who are in the towns. Unavailability of inputs. They don't have proper inputs to them to tell them to do all these things. Poor marketing facility. So whatever they get in the village only they will use. Other things, no proper, poor marketing facility. Insufficient extension, staff and services. That is, for example, in schools you can take, in villages only government schools will be there, isn't it? Insufficient extension, staffs and services. They don't work properly, mostly, that's the government staffs. They don't teach much. Multi-dimensional tasks to extensional personal. They don't take preparation for the students to outcome the students in other outstanding things. Small size of land holding. Very small size of land holding will be there, and the agriculture will be very difficult for them to go on. Infrastructural related problems. Poor infrastructure facilities like water, electricity, transport, educational institution, communication, health, employment, storage facility, banking and insurance are found in rural areas. All these facilities we have in town, isn't it? We have proper water, electricity, transport, education institution, communication, health, employment, storage facility, banking and insurance in urban areas. That's in towns and cities. What about villages? They don't have all these facilities. Economics related problem. Economy means the occupation, the income. The economic problem related to rural areas are inability to adopt high cost technology. No laptop, no computers at their houses. High cost of inputs. No proper inputs for them to encourage their knowledge. Underprivileged rural industries. Low income. That is the main source. Why they are not developed. Indebtedness. Getting credits and existence of inequality in land holdings and assets. Leadership related problems, that is the leaders in the villages. The specific leadership related problems found in rural areas are leadership among the heads of inactive and incompetent people, self-interest of leaders, biased political will, less bargaining power and negotiation skills and dominance of political leaders. For example, the panchayat leaders, isn't it? They won't be most legal, they won't be more legal. And what about the police and the law and order? Everything won't be easily got to the village people. In towns and cities, we have proper law and order. But in villages, there is no proper law and order. There will be caste and religion problems are there. Next one, administrative problems. The rural administrative problems consist of political interference. Mostly the political interference will be there in the village panchayats, isn't it? Lack of motivation and interest, low wages in villages, improper utilization of budget, and absence of monitoring and implementation of rural development programs. All these are very poor condition in inner villages, in rural areas. You know the condition of villages. You would have seen in some films. For example, in Asuran you can see that they take the caste problem, the landlord's problem is there, isn't it? For example, I am telling you. Analyze the causes for rural indebtedness. Poverty of farmers. The vicious circle of poverty forces the farmers to borrow for consumption, cultivation and celebrations. The main thing is poverty of farmers. You don't have income, isn't it? They have to, for each and everything they will borrow. They will get money, loans, and from the people who give money for interest. Thus, poverty, debt and high rates of interest hold the farmer in the grip of money lenders. Next one, failure of monsoon. There won't be no proper rain, so what is happening? The irrigation process is not good. Frequent failure of monsoon is a curse to the farmers and they have to suffer due to the failure of nature. When there is no rain, it is a failure of nature. Therefore, farmers find it difficult to identify good years to repay their debts. So when there is no rain, there is no irrigation, so what is happening? They won't be able to pay the debts, the credit what they got from the money investors, isn't it? So more and more they will pay the interest and they will come to the debts. Due to land dispute litigation, in the court compels them to borrow heavily. So what happened? When they are not able to give the money back, litigation will come. Disputes in the land is there. So for each and everything, if they are going to the court, what will happen? They have to pay for the advocates, isn't it? Due to land disputes litigation, in the court compels them to borrow heavily. So they must pay the advocates for the cases. Being uneducated and ignorant, they are caught in the litigation process and dry away with their savings and resources. So when they are having a land dispute problem, they are going to the court. So what will happen? As usual, they have to pay the advocates, so they have to borrow money. So what will happen? They will dry away. Money lenders and high rates of interest. That is, money lenders give money for high interest, isn't it? அதிகப்படியான வட்டிக்கு கொடுப்பாங்க பணம். That is the reason. The rate of interest charged by the local money lenders is very high, and the compounding of interest leads to perpetuate indebtedness of the farmer. This makes the farmer more and more debted, isn't it? Indebted. He can't repay the money, so he is becoming more worried about the money and the interest he is paying. So he is becoming more indebted. With this, we finish this lesson. Thank you, students. God bless you all. Study well. Prepare well for your revision test. Lesson 1 to 6 will be conducted on February 9th. Thank you, students. God bless you all.